The first four seals in the book of Revelation reveal the coming of Christ to us as wisdom, understanding, counsel, and might. These attributes are taken from Isaiah chapter 11, describing the seven spirits of God first mentioned in Revelation 1:4. I believe these seven spirits are the seven stars or angels of the seven churches, due to the fact that Christ tells John to write to the angel of each church in every prophecy. Why is this? By writing to the angel or spirit of each church, he joins his word with the power of God's Spirit, thereby making his discourse incontrovertible. What he declares becomes prophecy, as sure and certain in its immutability as any prophecy coming from the mouth of God. The first four seals parallel the first four prophecies, being foundational, establishing what comes in the fifth and sixth prophecies. Since 7 denotes fullness and manifestation, the seventh is merely a summation of the process of the preceding 6. Remember, God rested on the seventh, so his entire work, as it were, is accomplished in the 6. So, let me challenge your thinking. 7 is manifestation, and the spiritual condition of the seventh church is neither hot nor cold, but lukewarm. That said, might Laodicea be the manifestation of the fifth and sixth churches together? That is, Sardis and Philadelphia? I believe this is the case, for once the first prophecy to the church comes to pass, its effects remain and continue into the next prophecy and church. Remember, there is but one church, but there are 7 prophecies to these churches to exemplify the dynamic and progressive work of God's Spirit and Word through the last 2,000 years. We find confirmation in Philadelphia, where Christ refers to those who say they are Jews and are not. This problem appears first in the second church in Smyrna, and since the Lord refers to it again in Philadelphia, it suggests that the problem remains through the rest of the prophecies. Think of the 7 churches and prophecies as one cake with 7 layers, agreeing with the 7-sealed scroll, which is but one scroll with 7 layers. Now, allow me to share the following illustration with you. Here we see the golden lampstand that resided in the holy place of the Tabernacle of Witness per the instructions God gave Moses and Israel long ago. These instructions are found in Exodus chapter 25. As we see, the 7 branches of the lampstand correlate perfectly with our consideration of the 7 spirits of God and 7 churches in Revelation. Note that the 6th branch, typifying Philadelphia, connects at the center of the lampstand with Smyrna. Where do we first see the Jews who are not Jews? Smyrna. Where are they mentioned again? Philadelphia. Coincidence, or might there be a spiritual lesson here? Incidentally, careful examination of the 6 churches show that Smyrna and Philadelphia are the only 2 churches Christ did not rebuke. Might these be the 2 horns like a lamb in Revelation 13:11? Also note how the 7 spirits of God are placed on the lampstand. First branch consisting of wisdom and understanding, which are the 1st and 7th branches, not the 1st and 2nd. Why? Because the 1st and 7th branches meet in the middle of the lampstand, signifying the pairing of the first 2 spirits of God. This is true of the 3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th branches as well. On the lampstand, the 7 spirits of God are not chronological. However, the 7 churches are. Why? Because the 7 prophecies to the churches unfold from beginning to end, summed up in the fullness of that 7th prophecy. Now, here's an interesting thing. If we add the 1st and 7th branches, we have 8, the number of a new beginning. The same is true for the 2nd and 6th, and the 3rd and 5th branches. Together, this is 3 8s, or 24. 24 is the number of priesthood. Being 2 12s, this enhances the meaning of priesthood, signifying a double witness of God's divine governance. Amazing, isn't it? The fact that we're considering a lampstand correlates with Matthew 5:14 through 16. Finally, note that the seventh Spirit of God, denoting righteous judgment, is on the middle branch connecting the other 6 branches. Also note that I placed a faint outline of the cross to further emphasize this righteous judgment flowing from the spirit of self-sacrifice. That is the message of the cross. Since 7 speaks of manifestation, it shows the purpose of the 4 and the 2, foundation, and what comes from it. This is why I see Laodicea as the combination of Sardis and Philadelphia. By the way, when we add the 24 of the 3 branches to the 4 on the middle branch, we have 28, the number of the leading of the Spirit. Since the prophecies of Christ are joined to the Spirit of truth, and this fits, does it not? As the central branch of the lampstand indicates, the theme of Revelation is righteous judgment, which begins with His people first and continues up to this present time. Despite the traditional take, God's judgment has not been reserved as we've been led to think. As mentioned in part 1, He is not coming to judge. He has been judging since He ascended at the Jordan River long ago. The misunderstanding of the Great White Throne Judgment in Revelation 20 is a result of several things. The first being the overwhelming influence of tradition, and the second being the overwhelming influence of the love of the self, which just happens to result in the first. A haughty spirit always brings a fall. The prevailing spirit of Christendom to the world is, you're going to get yours when Jesus returns. Friend, this is the spirit of the world, not the Spirit of Christ. Christ is not returning to wreak havoc on the world because they failed to align with our religious expectations. God is sovereign, having designed a universe with laws that defy our ability to truly understand it. So how in the world can we think we have all the mysteries of His kingdom figured out? But one thing remains certain: God is love, and what has been unfolding since the days of Christ and the apostles has and always will flow from this love. I hope this study has given you food for thought. Be sure to join me for the next one as we get further into the 5th and 6th seals. Please feel free to like or comment or subscribe, and I truly thank you for being a part of Grain of Wheat Publishing.